The Democrats have said, follow the science, and follow what they did until they didn't. Chris Cuomo, alleged news anchor at CNN, has this habit of constantly being on, well, the wrong side of every issue. That might be exactly why we consider him to be Fredo. Because not only is he covered for his brother, but now apparently he just wants to give us the CCP Chinese-approved talking points, even though the rest of mainstream media is starting to question and look into the lab leak. Chris Cuomo, the guy that's going to beat people up and shove them downstairs because they dare to call him Fredo.
I thought that's who you were.
No, punk-ass bitch from the right called me Fredo. My name is Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN. Fredo is from The Godfather. He was that weak brother.
Isn't that your
And
brother?
they used it as an Italian aspersion. Any of you Italian? Are you Italian?
I got a little
it's
bit.
an insult to your people. It's an insult to your people. It's like the N-word for us.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says. Like dumb. I'm smart and I want respect.
Chris Cuomo, the guy that claimed to have had COVID, was quarantining himself in his wife's basement, doing his show from there, but was seen out on the loose, looking at a home that he was having built and threatening to beat up some guy on a bicycle for calling out the obvious, hey, don't you have coronavirus? Aren't you supposed to be quarantined? Yes, Chris Cuomo. The guy unleashed on all of us because, well, his daddy, a failed minor league baseball player that couldn't hit his own weight in a batting average, and so when he realized that baseball was not in his future, Mario decided why not give politics a whirl, and then he was thrust upon the residents of New York, and the rest is history. And he conveniently and convincingly turned the state of New York into the People's Republic, to which now his son Andrew is the heir apparent. And the Cuomo brothers, well, CNN can no longer be called the Clinton News Network. It really is the Cuomo Propaganda Network. He won't talk about the sex allegations against his brother. He won't talk about all the people he killed in nursing homes and the investigations into all of that. But what he was doing was advising his brother how you handle the, quote, bimbo explosion, kind of like Hillary Clinton took care of Bill back in the day. One thing is evident, and you can't deny this, liberal Democrat men have killed the Me Too movement. Bum, ba-dum, bum. I guess some of you Me Too women, you Me Too lib women in the political left, I guess you're just too scared to stand up to the political might and power of the dudes in your party. Ooh. Well, Chris Cuomo has a theory as to why the Wuhan lab leak is now being looked into.
Where did the virus come from? Well, China. Oh, okay. But how? Animals like bats that spread it to humans by mistake? Intentionally? Or was the virus weaponized and unleashed from a lab? All those are legitimate questions. But it's how people are exploiting the unknown to forward BS that we have to expose. This theory that it was from the lab is gaining traction, especially here, especially in political circles on the right. U.S. intelligence determined several researchers at China's Wuhan Institute of Virology fell ill in November 2019 and had to be hospitalized. Why? Now that adds fuel to the arguments that it was COVID-19. That's why. Do we know that? No. But it is something that Trump and co. have been pushing for more than a year. The reason that they're pushing it is because they want to forget who failed to stop it here.
Oh, really? He didn't just go there. I mean, this is so rich in irony and hypocrisy and just blatant lying. Just outright blatant lying. First of all, we do know that there were people who worked at the Wuhan lab who got deathly ill in the fall of 2019 and they sought hospital help. Who is it that debunked that there's nothing to prove that that was COVID. That's been who debunked it? The Chinese government? Because it's the Chinese government that's saying there's nothing here to see, just move along. Just like they were the ones that tried to tell us this was bat soup, and it got sprung on the rest of us, and we knew from the very beginning that was a crock. And the fact that CNN through Chris Cuomo would cover for the Chinese, not surprising. The millions and billions of dollars that get spent between U.S. corporations and China and back and forth, the literal selling of our security, of our national sovereignty, all in the name of explosive, out of control, greed capitalism is just absolutely unbelievable. Athletes who will spit on the American flag but turn around and apologize to China. Oh, LeBron James, I'm looking in your direction. Now you've got the, what was he, a wrestler or John Cena, apologizing in Mandarin Chinese because he accidentally referred to Taiwan as a country. Newsflash, Taiwan is a country. It's a free, independent country. I guess I won't get any Chinese propaganda now and promotion. I don't care. I don't care. See, Hollywood right now desperately needs the Chinese movie market because, well, they've killed their own movie market here by going full-blown into the COVID hysteria and thus killing the entire movie theater industry. Way to go. Woohoo. Way to be proactive on that. So they need that market, so they are willing to capitulate to Chinese dictators and let them have script approval and will even rewrite and rework storylines so that China doesn't get offended. You do know that the remake of Red Dawn was originally supposed to depict an invasion from China, and when the Chinese government made it really clear we won't release the movie, then all of a sudden the enemy became North Korea. Okay. So Chris Cuomo, with this asinine assertion that this is all about Donald Trump trying to deflect, get people looking at anything but him. Okay, again, am I the only one that the irony is not lost on? Remember when his brother, Andrew Cuomo, was first asked about the nursing home deaths? Was it something he did? Was it a policy he had? And he said, certainly not. It's the workers themselves killing these people.
By the time a person was transferred after 9 or 10 days, they were no longer contagious. And what all the data says is the reason you had infections in the nursing homes were because the staff brought in the infection. And you look at the communities that had the high infection rate overall, those are the communities that had nursing homes with a high infection rate.
So these frontline workers who were expected to show up every day and put their lives on the line, they then were blamed for killing people. While Mr. Cuomo was sniffing, grabbing, groping female interns and using his staff into writing a book about what an awesome job he was doing in handling the pandemic, we find out that he cooked the books, that he lied about the number of nursing home deaths. They reported it was somewhere around 8,000. Turns out to be just a tad over 14,000. That's quite a discrepancy there, Gov. And it all had to do with your policies. And the funny thing is, only blue state governors did this. Let's put the sick, the afflicted, and the inflicted in the nursing homes, in with the most vulnerable of our population. And again, they try to blame that on Trump, that it was a Trump directive. No. What it was in the very beginning of the pandemic was if a nursing home was not at full capacity and could set up an isolated, quarantined COVID section, you could send them there to not overwhelm hospitals. That was the suggestion. Cuomo went ahead and mandated every nursing home in the state of New York, whether they had room or not, whether they had a COVID unit or not, you will take these people. He killed these people, flat out. But hey, had nothing to do with the fact that he was trying to deflect when again he was asked about the nursing home deaths and the stats were wrong. And he said, well, if Trump had told us the problem was Europe and not China, we might have been able to do something about this. Wait, what?
Governor, House Republicans are looking into New York's March 25th order that directed nursing homes to take in infected patients. This thing is not going away, sir. 6,300 people died in New York nursing homes. That is the most in this country. The more time has passed, the more your office has been able to look into this. Do you take responsibility for that order and the role it may have played in those deaths?
Yes, we had more people die in nursing homes than anywhere else because we had more people die. Because the federal government missed the boat and never told us that this virus was coming from Europe and not from China.
Yeah, see, Cuomo, Chris Cuomo, that is, Fredo, the alleged newscaster, he had said earlier in that little piece that Donald Trump was, kissing up and loving on China. When was Donald Trump kissing up and loving on China? Donald Trump declared a trade war on China. China hates Donald Trump. You know that infamous date, January the 6th, you guys love to talk about, and, the attack on democracy? Do you know what else happened that day? Wall Street had its biggest day. Chinese investment went through the roof that day, almost like what happened on Capitol Hill was a signal that it was going to be back to business as normal. The status quo is back in charge. We've created the diversion to get everybody talking and to have an end to this finally once and for all, America first. And we're going to make these people just look like radical loons. And now it's China. We're back open to doing things the way we did so that we can make money as we give away our security and sell you our sovereignty. So, when Donald Trump first got word that this pandemic was here, and I had been contesting it had been here since the late fall of 2019, I had several families in my church that fell very, very sick in the late fall going into the Christmas holiday season that year. And they kept telling me, I got this like flu that I just can't shake. Bum, ba-dum, bum. So, the first thing Donald Trump did was he enacted a travel ban from China. He was called a xenophobe. He was told he was creating Asian hate. And that's why, even in late February, when we were told that in January the president knew we had a pandemic and he did nothing to save our lives. Wait a minute. All the members of Congress, weren't they clued in on all this stuff too? But where was Nancy Botox Pelosi in late February of 2020? Was she out there with her little mask on saying, it's not taking this pandemic seriously, it's here? No, she was in Chinatown eating fortune cookies and telling everybody, do not listen to the president. There is no virus coming from China. Come on out and have a fortune cookie.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi told me she came here to Chinatown to combat fear.
That's what we're trying to do today, is to say everything is fine here. Come, because precautions have been taken. The city is on top of the situation.
She has been going around to show that it is perfectly safe to be here.
We do want to say to people, come to Chinatown. Here we are. We're, again, careful, safe, and come join us.
No, Chrissy boy, it is you, little Fredo, that's trying to deflect, that's trying to create any other scenario than what actually happened. Because we know you and Dr. Fauci have been lifelong friends, so you're covering for the doc, you cover for your elderly killer brother, Andrew, and we know that you come from an absolutely vile, corrupt family. You are what you are. And now you try to do everything you can any given night of the week to deflect on the crimes of your family as you continue to trash the former president of the United States and saying that he's deflecting. No, he was the one that was out in front on all of this. And again, because you're a day late and a dollar short and a Fredo, which means you really are dumb, you really are kind of stupid. No, you aren't kind of stupid. You're outright stupid. You haven't even figured out yet that as the majority of the Americans start to now see that there was a problem with the Wuhan lab, and they connect that with what the president was trying to say for over a year and was being ridiculed for it, he has been vindicated. But hey, good luck, Fredo. Woohoo! Way to swing for those fences in T-ball, just like your failed minor league dad father. Well, that's today's rant. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a like. You're subscribing to the channel. Smack the bell. Click the word all to get notification of my next rant.